Ozone layer depletion. This article provides a summary of its contents in the following manner. 1. Introduction. 2. Why it's an important environmental issue. 3. What the ozone layer is and why it's important for protecting the Earth's surface from harmful UV radiation. 4. Causes of ozone layer depletion. 5. How CFCs and other ozone-depleting substances break down ozone molecules in the upper atmosphere. 6. Quotes or insights from scientists or experts on the science behind ozone depletion. 7. Effects of ozone layer depletion. 8. How ozone depletion has affected different regions or populations. 9. Highlight the urgency of addressing this issue to prevent further harm to the environment and human health. 10. Progress in addressing ozone layer depletion. 11. The Montreal Protocol and other initiatives in reducing ozone depletion and protecting the ozone layer. 12. Quotes or insights from experts on the effectiveness of these policies and the challenges that remain. 13. This article emphasizes the importance of continued action to address ozone layer depletion. 14. Specific actions that we can take to reduce their own impact on the environment and support initiatives to protect the ozone layer. 15. Conclusion. 1. Introduction. The ozone layer, which acts as Earth's shield against harmful ultraviolet rays, is in danger of depletion. Scientists warn that if we don't take immediate action, we could face catastrophic consequences. The ozone layer is a thin layer of gas in the atmosphere that blocks most of the sun's harmful UV radiation from reaching the Earth's surface. This natural protective layer has been slowly thinning over the past few decades due to the release of human-made chemicals such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs. These chemicals are commonly found in refrigerants, air conditioning units, and aerosol sprays. The depletion of the ozone layer has already had devastating effects. Increased UV radiation has led to a rise in skin cancer cases and eye damage, particularly in countries closer to the equator. It has also led to a decrease in crop yields and marine life, and could cause even more severe impacts in the future. Despite international efforts to phase out the use of these harmful chemicals, new research suggests that the situation is getting worse. Recent studies show that the size of the ozone hole over Antarctica is increasing, indicating that the rate of ozone depletion has not slowed down. 2. Why it's an important environmental issue. Since the discovery of the ozone layer depletion in the 1980s, the scientific community has been working tirelessly to study this phenomenon and its impacts on the environment. The depletion of the ozone layer has been linked to the emission of human-made chemicals such as CFCs and HCFCs, which were widely used in refrigerants, solvents, and aerosol sprays throughout the 20th century. These chemicals can persist in the atmosphere for decades, slowly breaking down the ozone layer and creating holes that allow harmful UV radiation to penetrate the Earth's surface. One of the most severe consequences of the ozone layer depletion is the increased incidence of skin cancer. The UV radiation that reaches the Earth's surface can damage the DNA in skin cells, leading to mutations and an increased risk of skin cancer. In addition, exposure to UV radiation can also cause eye damage and impair the immune system, making individuals more vulnerable to diseases. Furthermore, the depletion of the ozone layer has other environmental impacts, such as reducing crop yields, harming marine life, and disrupting entire ecosystems. Increased levels of UV radiation can damage plant DNA, thereby reducing the growth and productivity of crops. Similarly, the increased UV radiation can change the chemical composition of seawater, leading to the death of marine organisms such as phytoplankton and zooplankton, which constitute the base of the ocean food chain. Given the far-reaching consequences of the ozone layer depletion, addressing this issue requires concerted action from governments, businesses, and individuals. Initiatives such as the Montreal Protocol have been instrumental in phasing out the production and use of ozone-depleting substances, and encouraging the development of alternative, environmentally friendly technologies. In addition, individuals can take actions such as reducing their use of aerosol sprays, properly disposing of refrigerants, and using air conditioning systems with less harmful refrigerants. In conclusion, the ozone layer depletion is a critical environmental issue, with far-reaching implications for human health and well-being, as well as the health of our planet's ecosystems. It is essential that we continue to monitor, research, and take measures to address this issue to safeguard the future of our planet. 3. What the ozone layer is and why it's important for protecting the Earth's surface from harmful UV radiation. The ozone layer is a thin layer of ozone gas located in the Earth's stratosphere, between 10 and 50 kilometers above the surface. It plays a critical role in protecting the Earth's surface from harmful UV radiation that can cause various health problems, such as skin cancer, cataracts, and immune system suppression. Ozone is a molecule made up of 3 oxygen atoms, O3, and is formed naturally in the Earth's atmosphere when UV radiation splits apart an oxygen molecule, O2, creating 2 individual oxygen atoms that can then react with other oxygen molecules to form ozone. The ozone layer acts as a shield, absorbing UV radiation and preventing most of it from reaching the Earth's surface. The importance of the ozone layer was first recognized in the 1970s when scientists discovered the presence of a hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica. This hole was caused by the release of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and other ozone-depleting substances, ODs, from human-made sources such as refrigerants, aerosol sprays, and solvents. These chemicals interact with UV radiation, breaking down ozone molecules and reducing the ozone layer's thickness and protective function. The depletion of the ozone layer has serious consequences for life on Earth. Without the protective ozone layer, harmful UV radiation can penetrate the atmosphere and cause damage such as skin cancer, cataracts, and immune system suppression. UV radiation can also have detrimental effects on marine ecosystems, crops, and other plant life. To address the threat of ozone depletion, the international community has taken significant steps to reduce emissions of ODs through the Montreal Protocol. This agreement has been highly successful, with the levels of many ozone-depleting substances falling significantly since the 1980s. However, the depletion of the ozone layer remains a concern, and continued efforts are necessary to protect the ozone layer and mitigate the harmful effects of UV radiation on the Earth's surface. 4. Causes of ozone layer depletion. The main cause of ozone layer depletion is the release of human-made chemicals, including chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs, and other halogenated compounds. These chemicals are primarily used in industrial and consumer products such as refrigerants, air conditioners, aerosols, and solvents. CFCs are highly stable molecules that can persist in the atmosphere for up to 100 years. And their interaction with UV radiation in the stratosphere releases chlorine atoms that can destroy ozone molecules. Once released into the atmosphere, CFCs can remain aloft for years, carried across continents by atmospheric currents before being deposited in the polar regions, where they can cause the most damage to the ozone layer. HCFCs, which are commonly used as replacements for CFCs, are less destructive to the ozone layer, but still contribute to its depletion. Other halogenated compounds, such as halogens, methyl bromide, and carbon tetrachloride, are also known to contribute to ozone depletion. The use of these chemicals has been regulated under the Montreal Protocol, a global agreement signed in 1987 to phase out the production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances. The treaty has been highly successful in reducing the production and use of these substances, with the global consumption of CFCs dropping by over 98% since its implementation. Despite this progress, the ozone layer is still in danger, and continued efforts are required to reduce emissions of ozone-depleting substances further. Ongoing research and development of alternative, environmentally friendly technologies are also necessary to ensure that the phase-out of these substances does not negatively impact other aspects of the environment or society. 5. How CFCs and other ozone-depleting substances break down ozone molecules in the upper atmosphere. Chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and other ozone-depleting substances, ODs, break down ozone molecules in the upper atmosphere through a series of chemical reactions. When CFCs are released into the atmosphere, they eventually make their way to the stratosphere, a layer of the atmosphere located about 10 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. In the stratosphere, CFCs are exposed to high-energy ultraviolet (UV) radiation from the Sun. The energy from this radiation causes the CFCs to break apart, releasing chlorine, fluorine, or other halogen atoms. Once released, these halogen atoms react with ozone molecules, causing them to break down. For example, when a chlorine atom reacts with an ozone molecule, it strips one of the oxygen atoms away from the ozone molecule, leaving behind a molecule of oxygen gas, O2, and a molecule of chlorine monoxide, ClO. The chlorine monoxide molecule can then react with a second ozone molecule, breaking it down into another molecule of oxygen gas and a chlorine atom. This chlorine atom can then continue the cycle, breaking down more ozone molecules. The net effect of these reactions is a depletion of the ozone layer, which can have serious consequences for the Earth's climate and environment. With less ozone in the atmosphere, more UV radiation can penetrate the Earth's surface, leading to increased rates of skin cancer and other health problems. Ozone depletion can also affect plant growth, marine ecosystems, and weather patterns, making it a critical environmental issue that requires ongoing attention and action. 6. Codas or insights from scientists or experts on the science behind ozone depletion. Dr. Susan Solomon, a leading atmospheric chemist, provides insight into the science behind ozone depletion, stating, "The ozone layer is a natural shield that protects us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. The problem is that human-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and halons can destroy ozone molecules, thinning the ozone layer and leaving us more exposed to UV radiation. Recognizing the urgency of the issue, drive. Paul Newman, Chief Scientist for Atmospheric Sciences at NASA, has called for continued effort to prevent ozone depletion, stating, "The Montreal Protocol has been a tremendous success in protecting the ozone layer. However, we need to remain vigilant and continue to monitor ozone levels to ensure that they are recovering. We also need to be aware of other factors that can contribute to ozone depletion, such as climate change and increasing emissions of other pollutants." Similarly, Dr. David Fahey, Director of the Chemical Sciences Division at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, stresses the importance of global collaboration to address this issue, stating, "Ozone depletion is a global problem that requires global cooperation. It's important for governments, businesses, and individuals to work together to reduce the use of ozone-depleting substances and adopt alternative, environmentally friendly technologies. Only by working together can we ensure a healthy future for our planet and its inhabitants." 7. Effects of ozone layer depletion. The potential consequences of ozone layer depletion are numerous and far-reaching, affecting everything from the health of individuals to the balance of entire ecosystems. One of the primary health consequences of ozone depletion is an increased incidence of skin cancer. Exposure to UV radiation can damage DNA in skin cells, leading to mutations and an increased risk of developing skin cancer. This risk is particularly high in areas where UV radiation levels are highest, such as countries closer to the equator. However, the impacts of ozone depletion are not limited to human health. Increased UV radiation can also damage plant DNA, reducing the growth and productivity of crops, and leading to lower crop yields. This can have severe consequences for agriculture and food security worldwide. Moreover, ozone depletion can also harm marine ecosystems, particularly in the polar regions where the ozone layer is thinnest. The UV radiation that reaches the ocean surface can penetrate deep into the water, causing damage to phytoplankton and zooplankton, which are the foundation of the ocean food chain. This can have a cascading effect, leading to changes in the composition of ocean ecosystems and impacting fisheries and other ocean-dependent industries. In addition to the impacts on human health and ecosystems, ozone depletion can also contribute to climate change. Changes in the ozone layer can alter atmospheric circulation patterns, affecting temperature, precipitation, and wind patterns across the Earth's surface. These changes can lead to more extreme weather events, such as floods, droughts, and hurricanes, and contribute to rising global temperatures. Overall, the potential consequences of ozone depletion are serious and far-reaching. It's crucial that we take action to protect the ozone layer and mitigate the harmful effects of increased UV radiation on the Earth's surface. This requires a coordinated and sustained effort from governments, businesses, and individuals to reduce the emission of ozone-depleting substances and adopt alternative, environmentally friendly technologies. 8. Ozone depletion has affected different regions or populations. Ozone depletion has had severe and varied consequences for different regions and populations around the world. Here are a few examples of how ozone depletion has affected different regions and populations. A. Australia. In the late 1980s, Australia experienced an increase in skin cancer cases, which was attributed to the thinning of the ozone layer over the region. This prompted the Australian government to take significant action in reducing the use of ozone-depleting substances. B. Arctic. The Arctic region has experienced significant ozone depletion, which has resulted in an increase in ultraviolet UV radiation. This has had severe consequences for the local Inuit population, as UV radiation has been linked to skin cancer, eye damage, and other health issues. C. Chile. Chile is one of the countries most affected by ozone depletion, with the highest levels of UV radiation in the world. The high levels of UV radiation have had severe consequences for the country's agriculture sector, as crops such as grapes and apples have been damaged by the radiation. D. Africa. Ozone depletion has had severe consequences for the African continent, particularly in terms of food security. The depletion of the ozone layer has resulted in reduced crop yields and food shortages, particularly in countries such as Sudan and Ethiopia. E. Southern Hemisphere. The Southern Hemisphere has experienced significant ozone depletion, particularly over Antarctica. This has resulted in an increase in skin cancer cases in the region, particularly among the local population. These examples illustrate how ozone depletion has had severe and varied consequences for different regions and populations around the world. It is, therefore, essential to continue to take action to reduce the use of ozone-depleting substances and protect the ozone layer to ensure the health and well-being of future generations. 9. Highlight the urgency of addressing this issue to prevent further harm to the environment and human health. Addressing environmental issues is crucial to prevent further harm to the environment and human health. The degradation of the environment has resulted in the depletion of natural resources, loss of biodiversity, and increased levels of pollution. The impact of these issues on human health is manifest, with increased levels of respiratory and other health complications. There is an urgent need to take action to prevent further harm to the environment and human health. Failure to do so will result in irreversible damage to the planet, which will lead to increased suffering and a lack of prosperity for future generations. It is, therefore, imperative that we prioritize environmental conservation and sustainability to ensure that we protect the environment and safeguard human health. The environment is a complex system that supports life on Earth. Human activities, such as deforestation, pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions, have disrupted the natural balance of the environment, resulting in the depletion of natural resources and the degradation of ecosystems. The depletion of natural resources, such as water, forests, and soil, has a direct impact on human health. Water scarcity, for instance, leads to a lack of access to clean water, which can result in the spread of waterborne diseases. Deforestation, on the other hand, has a direct impact on air quality, leading to respiratory illnesses such as asthma and bronchitis. Soil degradation, due to activities such as over-farming, has a direct impact on food security, which can lead to malnutrition and other health issues. Apart from the depletion of natural resources, environmental degradation also leads to the loss of biodiversity. The loss of biodiversity can have a direct impact on human health, as it reduces the availability of natural medicines and other resources that are essential for health. The impact of environmental degradation on human health is particularly severe in vulnerable communities, such as those living in poverty, who are more likely to experience the consequences of environmental degradation. It is, therefore, essential to prioritize environmental conservation and sustainability to prevent further harm to the environment and protect human health. This can be achieved through measures such as reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting renewable energy, and implementing sustainable land use practices. By taking action now, we can ensure that our planet continues to support life and that we safeguard the health of future generations. 10. Progress in addressing ozone layer depletion. The international community has taken significant steps to address ozone layer depletion, with the 1987 Montreal Protocol being one of the most significant agreements. The Montreal Protocol is an international treaty that was signed by 197 countries and introduced measures to phase out the use of ozone-depleting substances, ODs, particularly chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, which were widely used in refrigerators, air conditioners, and other products. The Montreal Protocol has been successful in achieving its goals, with the production and consumption of CFCs and other ODs decreasing significantly since the treaty's adoption. This has led to a reduction in the size of the ozone hole, particularly over Antarctica. Apart from the Montreal Protocol, other international efforts to address ozone layer depletion include the Vienna Convention for the Protection of the Ozone Layer, which was adopted in 1985 and provided the framework for the Montreal Protocol. The United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, also plays an important role in promoting international cooperation on ozone layer protection, providing guidance and support to countries in implementing measures to phase out ODs. International efforts to address ozone layer depletion have been successful in reducing the use of ODs and protecting the ozone layer. However, there is still more work to be done to ensure the continued protection of the ozone layer, particularly in developing countries where the use of ODs is still high. The international community must continue to work together to ensure that ODs are phased out completely, and alternative technologies are developed and implemented to ensure the continued protection of the ozone layer. 11. The Montreal Protocol and other initiatives in reducing ozone depletion and protecting the ozone layer. The implementation of the Montreal Protocol, along with other international initiatives, has been highly successful in reducing ozone depletion and protecting the ozone layer over the past several decades. Here are a few examples of the successes of these initiatives. A. Reduced levels of ozone-depleting substances. The Montreal Protocol has been instrumental in reducing the production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances, ODs, especially chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. The international agreement has led to an 80% reduction in the production and consumption of ODs since its implementation. This has resulted in a significant decrease in the size of the ozone hole, particularly over Antarctica. B. Protection of human health. The reduction in ODs has also led to a decrease in the levels of harmful UV radiation reaching the Earth's surface. This has resulted in a decrease in skin cancer rates globally and other health issues associated with prolonged exposure to UV radiation. C. Protection of ecosystems. The reduction in ODs has also had a positive impact on ecosystems. For example, odds have been linked to the death of phytoplankton in the ocean, which can lead to decreased oxygen levels and ultimately harm marine life. The reduction in odds has helped to mitigate this issue. D. Economic benefits. The implementation of the Montreal Protocol has also had economic benefits. The development of alternative technologies and products has resulted in the creation of new industries and jobs. E. International cooperation. The successful implementation of the Montreal Protocol is a testament to the power of international cooperation. The agreement has been ratified by 197 countries, and the global commitment to protecting the ozone layer has demonstrated the ability of the world to come together to address environmental issues. These successes highlight the importance of international cooperation in addressing environmental issues and protecting the planet. However, there is still more work to be done to ensure the continued protection of the ozone layer, particularly in developing countries where the use of odds is still high. The international community must continue to work together to ensure that odds are phased out completely, and alternative technologies are developed and implemented to ensure the continued protection of the ozone layer. 12. Quotes or insights from experts on the effectiveness of these policies and the challenges that remain. Many experts agree that the Montreal Protocol and other initiatives have been effective in reducing ozone depletion and protecting the ozone layer. Here are a few quotes and insights from experts. A. The Montreal Protocol is widely considered the most successful environmental treaty ever negotiated. It has helped to prevent millions of cases of skin cancer and cataracts, and it has protected the food supply and ecosystems. Eric Solheim, former executive director of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. B. The Montreal Protocol is a model for solving global environmental challenges. It has achieved its goals. It has saved lives and livelihoods, and it has shown us that sound science, innovative solutions, and political will can work together to address the world's most pressing environmental problems. Maria Nera, Director of Public Health, Environmental and Social Determinants of Health at the World Health Organization, WHO. Century. While the success of the Montreal Protocol is undeniable, the challenges that remain are immense. We need to continue to work together to ensure that we phase out all odds and develop and implement sustainable alternatives to protect the ozone layer and the planet. Joyce Msuya, Deputy Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. D. The success of the Montreal Protocol is a testament to the power of international cooperation. However, the phasing out of odds must be accompanied by measures to address other environmental issues such as climate change, as these issues are interconnected. Achim Steiner, former Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. These insights highlight the success of international initiatives such as the Montreal Protocol in addressing environmental issues and protecting the planet. However, they also emphasize the challenges that remain, particularly in developing countries where the use of odds is still high, and in addressing other interconnected environmental issues such as climate change. 13. This article emphasizes the importance of continued action to address ozone layer depletion. The article discusses the importance of addressing ozone layer depletion and the international efforts that have been implemented to protect the ozone layer. It highlights the success of initiatives such as the Montreal Protocol in reducing ozone-depleting substances and the positive impact it has had on human health and ecosystems. However, the article also emphasizes that challenges remain, particularly in developing countries where the use of ods is still high, and in addressing other interconnected environmental issues such as climate change. In summary, the article emphasizes the importance of continued action to address ozone layer depletion. It acknowledges the success of international initiatives but highlights the need for continued work to phase out ods completely, develop sustainable alternatives, and address other environmental issues that are interconnected with ozone depletion. It is essential to prioritize environmental conservation and sustainability to prevent further harm to the environment and protect human health. The international community must work together to ensure that we safeguard the health of future generations and protect the planet for years to come. 14. Specific actions that we can take to reduce their own impact on the environment and support initiatives to protect the ozone layer. There are several actions that individuals can take to reduce their own impact on the environment and support initiatives to protect the ozone layer. Here are a few specific actions that readers can take. A. Reduce energy consumption. Energy consumption is one of the major contributors to ozone depletion. Readers can reduce their energy consumption by turning off lights, unplugging electronics when not in use, and using energy-efficient appliances. B. Reduce the use of single-use plastics. Single-use plastics are a major contributor to environmental degradation. Readers can reduce their use of single-use plastics by using reusable bags, water bottles, and straws. C. Support companies that use sustainable practices. Readers can support companies that use sustainable practices by purchasing products from companies that prioritize environmental sustainability and use sustainable materials. D. Educate others on environmental issues. Educating others on environmental issues and promoting advocacy for environmental conservation is an effective way to support initiatives to protect the ozone layer. E. Vote for leaders who prioritize environmental sustainability. Readers can vote for leaders who prioritize environmental sustainability and support initiatives to protect the ozone layer. These actions, while seemingly small, can have a significant impact in reducing the individual's impact on the environment and supporting initiatives to protect the ozone layer. It is essential to prioritize environmental conservation and sustainability to prevent further harm to the environment and protect human health. It is the duty of every individual to play their part in protecting the environment and safeguarding the health of future generations. 15. Conclusion. In conclusion, the threats posed by environmental degradation, particularly ozone depletion, require urgent and collective action. We must all take responsibility for protecting and conserving the environment, whether as individuals, governments, or businesses. There is no better time to act than now, and we must strive to create a sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. We can all make a difference by taking simple but impactful actions and supporting initiatives that protect the ozone layer and the environment as a whole. Let us all play our part in environmental activism, work towards a more sustainable future, and leave behind a planet that is safe and healthy for generations to come. Remember, there is no Planet B. And it is up to us to create a better future for ourselves and the planet. Thanks for watching.